So here's another one with a little bit of, I would say, God's kind of humor. It happened in Florida. I was singing in Florida. I was invited to sing it, and I was with some friends that had an airplane, and they flew me there to a retreat. And it so happened at this retreat, they were going to have the TV crew come in and film the whole thing. And they were going to film the different singers, because there was going to be more than just me. And they were going to film the different famous preachers and so on. And so they had me planned. And of course, at that time, there was a lot of people that never heard of a gospel yodeler. And I could write and sing yodeling gospel songs. And they went over well everywhere I went. But this was a new country for me. This was a new place. Nobody had ever heard me before. And so once in a while, when somebody heard that I was a yodeler, they would go, oh yeah, okay, you know. But they didn't realize that you can make a joyful noise with yodeling too. So we're sent to a room where they make sure that you're in good shape, and they put a little bit of powder on you, and some places where you might need a little bit of eyebrow or whatever, they fix you up for the TV. And they're getting ready for this big show, and there is a big crowd gathering, and it's in the open air. There's bleachers out there, and it's in the open air, and so evidently the guy who was running the TV show had heard that one of the singers was a yodeler, and he wasn't very excited about that. So the word got out, and so when I was having my self prepped for the TV show, somebody come along and said, "And who are you?" And I said my name, who I was, and "You're the yodeler?" "Yeah." "Oh, okay." And they kind of rolled their eyes, you know. And every once in a while, somebody would mention that's the yodeler. Well, so we got ready for the show, and they were waiting for some big name singers. They were supposed to arrive any minute. And they kept saying the show is getting ready to start, and the big name, I don't remember who it was, but the big names. I was the little name. Besides that, I was a yodeler. And so the big names, they waited and waited, and they weren't coming. And they said, "We got to get the show going here." And so pretty soon they had one guy from the audience who could sing, and they kept passing me up. They were deliberately ignoring me. And people kept telling the guy, "Hey, Buzz is here, he's ready." "No, we're going to wait for so-and-so, or we're going to have so-and-so." And they took a guy out of the audience, and they kept trying to figure out how to do the show without me. Well, the people who were expected to come, the big names, still hadn't arrived, and the show was now starting and going, and they had no choice. And I saw the guy say, "Put the yodeler on." And so when I got up on the stage, they started my soundtrack, which was the band, you know. And I cut loose with "God Put a Yodel in My Heart." And the next thing you know, the crowd was up, and they were clapping like this. And everybody was going, "Woo-wee!" And everybody was loving. And he says, "Put the camera on the crowd. Put the camera on the yodeler. Put the camera back on the crowd." And he back and forth. He says, "Catch more of him. Get more of the yodeler." He's yelling in the background, "Put the camera here." And the crowd, of course, gave me a standing ovation. And I was asked to do another one and another one and another one, because the main guys, the big names never did show up. But I became the big name all of a sudden. Then the guy who owned the TV station came to me afterwards, and he said, "Would you come to my town," I forget what town it was, "and be on my show?" Here's the guy that was trying not to let me sing at all, and now he's inviting me to come. And I said, "Well, let me think about it a while." So in a little while, of course, I told him that I would come, and we set a date, and I got to be on his show in his, I don't remember what state it was now, but I got to be on his show several times. I was a guest that was invited over and over to come and sing and yodel on his show. So that just goes to show you that God has a sense of humor, and that not everybody should judge, no one should judge the cover, or what is it, the book by its cover. Or don't cover the cover either, whatever. But I tell you what, that was fun. And it's not the first time something like that happened, because, you know, yodeling in a church was a whole new thing then. Now there are hundreds of people doing it. And I'd like to think I started it. But that's okay. God has a sense of humor, and God delights himself in you when you delight yourself in him. God bless you.